Did you know that this little Donny right here went into space before any human did? Sup, my people? Hope you guys are well and welcome back to Wildlife Facts Legit. Now, before we actually sent humans into space, we sent animals first. As we were basically like, yeah, we don't really know the effects of space travel right now, and we're not really trying to kill one of our own to find out. Now, some animals unfortunately died, but some survived, such as my man Ham. Now, prior to becoming an astronaut, Ham was born in July 1957 in French Cameroon, which is today known as Cameroon, and was captured by some poachers where he was sent to Miami, Florida, and bought by the United States Air Force for $457. Now, in the 1950s, NASA were training a bunch of chimps in order to send them into space. And in 1959, Ham, who was 2 at the time, was the smartest one, which is kind of peak for him, as I'm sure he had no idea where he was about to be sent to. So they taught him to press levers in response to different lights. If he got it right, he got a treat. If he got it wrong, he got an electric shock. Yeah, back then, the ethics of using animals for experiments was slightly lagging. Fast forward to January 31st, 1961, my man Ham got strapped into this little tiny space pod with a little custom made spacesuit, and they sent my man 150 miles above Earth into space. Meanwhile, whilst he's up there, bless him, he's doing everything right, pressing the right levers as he was trained to do, which is mad because he's doing this whilst traveling at Mach 5 speed and he's in space. Then things start to go left as the rocket he's traveling in malfunctions, causing them to travel back into Earth much faster and under more gravity than intended. But again, he's calm, not really bothered, and his pod crashes into the Atlantic Ocean where rescue crews open it and Ham's just there chilling, probably thinking like, yo, where's that treat that you promised me? Now they did however find that he had a cut on his nose, he was dehydrated and lost about 5.37% of his body weight, but other than that he was calm. But apparently he might have had a bit of PTSD, as when the press tried to take pictures of him post-flight back in his pod, he would panic. All in all, his journey was 16 minutes and 39 seconds long, but because of his mission, NASA were able to find out that if a chimp could survive and work in space, then humans could do so too. This led to NASA sending the first American astronaut, Alan Shepard, up into space, doing the same thing that Ham did. And I'm sure the Americans cannot live this down to this day, as the Soviet Union beat them in sending the first person into space. After his mission, Ham retired from NASA in 1963 and spent 17 years at the Washington DC Zoo. And then in 1980, he moved in with a small group of chimps in the North Carolina Zoo. I could probably imagine he was like leading chimp conversations with, I've been to space before, and the other chimps probably just looking like, yeah, 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 here he goes again. Unfortunately, after suffering from chronic liver and heart disease, he died on the 19th of January 1983 at the age of 25, which is considerably quite young for captive chimps as they can go on to live in their 60s. But yeah, shout out Ham. We lost a real one as his work opened the doors for space exploration. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and as usual, stay blessed and stay tuned for more.